2,300 years ago, in ancient China, a butcher carved oxen for a king. He used the same knife for 19 years, and in all that time, he never sharpened it, not once. The blade stayed as sharp as the day it left the whetstone. When the king asked him how, the butcher's answer made no sense. He said, "I stopped cutting with my eyes years ago. Now I cut with my spirit." For centuries, that sounded like poetry. Then psychologists started measuring it. The state that butcher described has a name in Chinese philosophy, Wu Wei, usually translated as effortless action. 23 centuries later, Western psychology rediscovered the same state, measured it in surgeons, athletes, and chess masters, and gave it a new name, flow. People in this state perform dramatically better. In one decade-long McKinsey study, executives reported being 5 times more productive in flow than out of it. But here's the strange part, and this is what both the Taoists and the scientists found. The harder you chase this state, the further it runs from you. By the end of this video, you'll know the 3 conditions that reliably open the door to flow, and the 1 mistake that guarantees it stays shut. The butcher's story comes from the Zhuangzi, one of the 2 founding texts of Taoism, written around 300 BC. Cook Ding is carving an ox for Lord Wenhui, and the way he moves stops the room. His hands, his shoulders, his feet, everything moves in rhythm, like a dancer. The blade glides through the animal without ever hitting bone. The Lord is amazed. How can mere skill reach this level? And Cook Ding gives the answer that made him famous for 2 millennia. He says, "What I care about is the way, which goes beyond skill. When I began, I saw the whole ox. After 3 years, I no longer saw the whole ox. And now, I meet it with my spirit and don't look with my eyes. My senses stop, and spirit moves where it wants." An average cook, he explains, hacks and needs a new knife every month. A good cook slices and needs one every year. But Ding follows the natural openings that are already there. The knife never fights the ox, so in 19 years the edge never dulls. Now jump forward 23 centuries to Chicago in the 1970s. A Hungarian psychologist named Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi survived World War II as a child, discovered psychology through, of all things, chess, starts interviewing people who are the best in the world at what they do. Surgeons, rock climbers, composers, dancers. He asks them one question: what does it feel like when you're at your absolute best? And something eerie happens. They all say the same thing. Time distorts. The self-conscious inner voice goes silent. Action and awareness merge. The work seems to do itself. One climber described it like this: "You're so involved in what you're doing, you aren't thinking of yourself as separate from what you're doing." So many of them use the same metaphor: it carried me like water. That Csikszentmihalyi named the state after it, flow. A butcher in 300 BC and a rock climber in 1975, describing the same state in almost the same words. So what is actually happening in the brain? The leading theory is called transient hypofrontality. In plain language, parts of your prefrontal cortex, the brain's self-monitoring system, the voice that watches you and judges you, temporarily power down. That inner commentator is expensive. It second guesses, it interrupts. And for skills you've already mastered, it's not just useless, it's actively harmful. Psychologist Sian Beilock proved this with a brutal little experiment. She took skilled golfers and asked them to putt. One group just putted. The other group was told to pay attention to the mechanics of their swing while putting. The experts who monitored their own technique got worse, significantly worse. Their conscious attention was interfering with a skill their body already knew. Beilock calls it paralysis by analysis. Athletes call it choking. And there's a second trap. Psychologist Daniel Wegner showed that deliberately trying to control your mental state tends to backfire. Try hard not to think of a white bear, and the bear is all you can think about. The monitoring itself keeps the unwanted thought alive. Notice what this means. Try harder. The default advice of modern life is precisely wrong for performance. Effort applied to monitoring yourself degrades the skill, which is exactly what the Taoists were pointing at. Wu Wei does not mean doing nothing. Cook Ding is working, and working brilliantly. It means action without the friction of self-conscious forcing. The knife doesn't fight the ox. The dancer doesn't fight the dance. Philosopher Edward Slingerland, who wrote an entire book connecting Wu Wei to cognitive science, calls it the paradox of trying not to try. The prefrontal monitor can't be switched off by command, because the command is the monitor, so you can't force the door open. But you can set the conditions that make it swing open on its own. Csikszentmihalyi's research found 3. Condition 1. The challenge has to slightly exceed your skill. Too easy, and your mind wanders. Too hard, and anxiety wakes up the monitor. Flow lives on a narrow edge. Researchers estimate around 4% beyond your current ability. Practical version. If a task bores you, add a constraint. A timer, a higher standard, a harder variation. If it scares you, shrink it until only the next step is in view. You're not managing time. You're tuning difficulty. Condition 2. Aim your attention outward, not inward. Beilock's follow-up studies found the fix for choking. Focus on the target, not your technique. The golfer who thinks about where the ball should land outperforms the golfer thinking about their wrists. Giving a presentation? Attend to the message and the audience, not to how you sound. Writing? Watch the idea, not your typing. The skill runs best unwatched. Cook Ding said it first. Stop cutting with your eyes. Condition 3, clear goals, immediate feedback. In surgery, in climbing, in a video game, you know instantly whether the last move worked. That's why those activities produce flow so easily, and vague knowledge work doesn't. So manufacture feedback. Break work into moves small enough that each one visibly lands. And protect the loop. Research by Gloria Mark found that after an interruption, it takes over 20 minutes to fully re-enter deep focus. One notification doesn't cost you 1 second. It costs you the state. And the one mistake that keeps the door shut? Checking whether it's open. The moment you ask, "Am I in flow yet?" you've reactivated the monitor, and you're out. Set the 3 conditions, then let go of the outcome. That, precisely, is Wu Wei. Back in that palace, Lord Wenhui listened to his butcher and said something unexpected. "Excellent. I have heard the words of Cook Ding and learned how to live." Not how to carve, how to live. The Taoists saw it 23 centuries early. Peak performance doesn't come from forcing. It comes from arranging the conditions, then getting out of your own way. Science didn't replace that insight, it confirmed it. In golf experiments, brain scans, and a butcher's unsharpened knife. That's where the sage meets the science. If you want ancient ideas that actually survive the lab, subscribe. Next time, we test the Zen story of the empty cup and find out why the most experienced people are often the slowest to learn. That precisely is Wu Wei.